Yeah, each and every annotation is a interface. So that's why they included at the end of an interfaces. So after the functional interface, the functional interface is also an annotation at the rate of functional interface. So which gives us the clear idea what the program is going to do. So when we are going to declare any annotation before the method, we came to know that we are instructing. So we are instructing to the program at the runtime as well as the compile time. And again, I'm telling you, so annotation is an instructor. So please go in this way, use this way, or use till this time, use till that time. So the annotation instructs the program, the process. So how the program process is going on. So it is like saying, so I'm going to give you an annotation. Just use it at the, throughout the program at the compile time only. So use that compile time only, or use that at runtime only. So there is an annotation called at retention in annotations basics. So what is an at retention? It consisting of three things. Okay, in the next slide, I'm going to explain that in a detailed manner. So it is nothing but an instructor. So it is an instructor that instructs the program process whether to use a or a compile time. So it is based on the instructions given by the programmer. So he is supposed to do that. The annotations with no methods declared. So it is like annotations is having a methods. So it is possible to declare annotations. And one more thing I want to tell you, annotation does not end with a semicolon. Again, I'm telling you, annotations does not end with a semicolon. You should use a semicolon at the end of the annotation. So of a methods. Yeah. So the annotation is having no methods. So here without methods, we are going to declare an annotation. I'm going to give you an example for that. Just this is the information point of view. So with a method declared with the default values. And one more thing you have to know, annotations consisting of methods also. And it consisting of a default values, not a default methods, values. So they are not supposed to use a default method over there, like an interfaces and all. Annotation is somewhat different. Okay. So, annotations are of having a methods, annotations with one method having a default value, with more than one method with default values. Okay. We are going to see these examples, how we are going to use that in the programming language. So assignment of values inside an annotation. So assigning in the sense, so the same thing as the declaration of a variables. Int a is equal to 0, like string b is equal to within the double quotes high or lower, like that. So now we are going to see how we are going to use that. I didn't open my IntelliJ IDEA tool. I need to open that. Wait a second. Okay, let it be open so that I will go for another topic. So this is the retention policy. Retention in the sense how the program process is going on. So what is the process we are going to use throughout the program? So one thing we have to know that while we are instructing a program, it is essential to know that how it behaves. So the logic of the program depends on the programmer. So again, I'm telling you, the logic of the program depends on the programmer. He knows that when to use the overridden methods, overridden annotations. So, sorry, annotation, when to use the annotation, because that overridden is a method, sorry, annotation, right? That's why I'm saying in that way. So the programmer knows where to use these annotations. You should not simply use an annotation without a usage, and you should not abstract at compile time or running time. And moreover, the annotations does not affect any process of the program, but we are going to tell that use this particular time at the time of a compilation or a runtime. So this is a retention policy. The retention policy is nothing but how long the annotation in the program is retained. Again, I'm telling you how long the annotation, what we are going to declare an annotation inside a program, how long it is going to retain inside a program. So basis on that, we are having three cases, sorry, not types, cases. These are the three cases we are going to tell about the retention policy. One is the source one. The annotation in this program, actually, it is like what we can say, yeah. So source in the sense, while we are using source case, here the program will stay only at the compile time. Is that true? Yeah. So this source in the sense, in this case, we are telling the annotations like stay at the compile time only, don't go further. So again, I am telling you what is the retention policy, how long the annotation is going to retain in your program. So this in the sense, we are going to use only at the compile time. Okay, I think the IntelliJ has been opened. Let me share this. Yeah, okay, see this one. I will take one of the examples over here so that it is easy for you. Access control. How the annotations are going to consider, because let me show you the slide again. So annotation with no methods declared. How the annotations are going to work inside this, how long the annotations are going to return in your program. So basis on that, we are going to use the annotations inside a programming language. So without methods, because the annotation is nothing but an interface like, so it declares a method. So inside that, we are going to declare method similar to that of a class. Inside a class, we are going to take a methods. Similar way, we are going to take these annotations having a single method or no methods or with the default values, and it does not ends with the semicolon. Other statements ends with the semicolon inside a Java, but annotations are not. Let me show you that one. Wait a second. So I'm going to take an annotation like @interface. So this is the annotation right now I'm using. So this is the annotation right now I'm using. It is having no methods. So the name of the interface is my interface. And it ends like this. See this one. So this is an annotation without, I mean, there is no methods inside an annotation. So this is like this. So if there is a class, what will you do? There are methods inside a class. The similar way, the interface is also that, I mean, the annotation that starts with @ and it is an interface having a name of interface is my interface, and inside a method body, it is having nothing without any method, without no methods. Okay. So the name of an interface, please remember this one. It starts with @. So annotation starts with @. It is nothing but an interfaces only, annotations are. So it is not having any methods inside that. This is how you are going to declare without no methods. And now I'm going to take @interface is having a method inside it. Okay. The method inside it. And one more thing we have to remember, let me take it as one method. Just I'm declaring the name of a annotation. Okay. This is not a keyword. This is not a keywords. These are user defined. Okay. Remember this. And now I'm going to take Okay, inside this, I'm going to take void test test. Okay, why it is showing like this? So let me see this one. Invalid what annotation member. Okay, there should be a return type. Yeah, I need to tell this one also. So inside an annotation, void is not possible because it is like there is no, there should be a return type. So when we are going to use this, there should be a return type. We should not use like this. We void. Do not tell the annotation method like there is no return type for you. It should be like you have to use and I mean the return type before the method. Okay, or else it throws an error. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to tell you about this. So there, let me remove this one. So this is also an interface in that sense. These are also considered an abstract classes. So we are not going to implement this inside the method. So we are not going to use, I mean, implement this inside this annotation. So this is like annotation with no methods. And now this is, let me copy this. With one method. Yeah. So it is similar to the that of an interfaces. That's why they just because you get confused at the end of if they included this in your syllabus. So that's why at the end of an interfaces only they just included this topic because there are the similarities in between the annotations as well as the interfaces. Both are same, but there is some conditions. Some different conditions are available, like the retention policy, user-defined annotations, or a predefined annotations. There are two types of annotations available in Java. One is a user-defined, and another one is a predefined. So predefined in the sense already defined by Java. So user defined in the sense we are going to use our own annotations according to the usage of a program. Basis on that, we are going to declare our own, which we call it as a predefined annotations. Okay. And I'm going to take this one. Wait a second. Yeah. So here we are going to know about one more thing. These are the basics you have to remember. You have to write this. If they ask about annotations, you have to write this one. So please remember this one. um, with the default, I'm going to take the name as don't you think like the default in the sense that it consisting of a default methods and all. So this is what a default value is available inside an annotation. Default value is available inside an annotation. So I'm going to take the default value of a method. So this is int test. And so inside a test, I mean in the test of it, we are having a default 0. So this is how we are going to declare a default. This is a keyword. This is a keyword. Let me teach you that. Theoretically, there is nothing about an annotations. You have to give the example. It is essential to know, sorry, to know about all these things, because theoretically you can say like, yeah, annotation is nothing but an interface that gives a retention policy, how long the program is retained, how long the annotation is going to retain. So in that sense only these are the words we are going to discuss. So but the usage in the sense, the time when we are using, then only we have to use that particular annotation, or else it throws error. And sometimes we are going to use these annotations to retain till the compile time or a runtime. So basis on that, we are going to use these annotations and all. Without annotations, the web application is not possible. They are supposed to use an annotations. Okay. Yep. So this is with the default value. One second. Yeah. This is a default value. And one more thing is available, I think. Yeah, more than two methods or two default values. Yeah, okay. Interface, more methods with the default values. Okay, I'm going to take the same way like int test. There is a default 0. Why it is a default 0? Because this is an integer. That's why I took as 0. Don't you think like only 0 is allowed? Okay, these allows, integer allows a whole numbers. You know that, right? Integer allows a whole numbers. So the float and a double allows a decimals the same way. Next, I'm going to take a float test2. A default value is 0.0. Why it is showing like this? Because it is an interval double required a float. Man, I'm going to mention it. Okay, you know this, right? Did I mention anything? Can you comment actually? Did I mention this data type anywhere else? Okay, if you have any doubt, I will show you that. Wait a second. See this one second, I'm going to tell you. So if there is any data type, just remember this one. So there are primitive data types, 8 primitive data types are available. These primitive data types are having, suppose a whole numbers, only whole numbers we are going to consider, then we are going to use a byte, int, long, and a short. So these are the whole numbers, the integer point of view. Yeah, what happened? Can you just please comment in the chat box so that I will know just whether I explained it or not. So these are the primitive data types available. I mean 8 available. In the sense of a whole numbers, we are going to take this. So in the byte, in the sense, that doesn't matter what the value you are going to take. 1 second. Byte b is equals to. So no, wait a second. B already available. It's okay. Just I'm taking it. So I is equals to 55. And L is equals to, just I'm going to show the difference of it. That's why I'm just telling you, because you need to know about some details. S is equals to, yeah. So see this one, actually, I'm going to tell the difference. Byte and the short, that was a different. So it like, see this one, I'm going to increase the number inside a short. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, only 5 digits are allowing over here, sorry, 6 digits. I forgot to tell you about this, I think. Only 6 only allowed here, the digits. And after the 5, it is throwing error. So only 5 digits are allowed. We are not going to use a byte and a short inside a program. We are going to use an int and a long only, maximum. So byte allows, see this one, this is a 5, and this is like, it is allowing only 2. Okay, it is allowing only 2, the byte. So the maximum when you are going to use a dynamic programming, we'll avoid a byte and a short because these are small values. So now what is the difference in between the long and integer? So these allows a whole numbers, we know that. But one thing you have to know, how the compiler is going to identify this is a long number. Again, I'm telling you, this may be an interview question, maybe sometimes they will ask how the compiler came to know that whether this is a long return type. Don't you say, sir, I mentioned over here, then this is a long type. It is not like that. So the integer, in the sense, by default, if we didn't declare anything, I mean, sorry, by default, it is an integer. So in this sense also, we are assigning this, we are considering this as an integer. The compiler considers this as an integer only. How the compiler came to know that? Either with capital L or a small l. Again, I'm telling you, either with a capital L or a small l. So you need to mention it. This here I got an F. That's why I'm going to explain this one also. So here you need to mention. So long literal FL ends with the lowercase l. Why I'm saying this? The compiler came to know that So this is a long primitive data type, or else it considered as an integer. Please remember this one. In the sense of a decimals also, float, and f is equals to 2.3, and double d is equals to 2.6. So here in this sense somewhat different. So here it is considering as an integer, and here it is considering as a float. But we need a float. I don't need a double. What I need to do here, I need to mention small f or a capital F. Again, I'm telling you, by default, it is considering as a double. But we need to tell the compiler, I need only float, not a double. So that's why we are going to mention over here a small f or a capital F. Okay. So here, there is no need to mention a double D over here. But by default, it is a D. But we can mention like a D also. That doesn't matter for the compiler. Okay, whether you give it or not, it will be a default. By default, it is a double itself. Okay, this is how we differentiate the long and an integer and a float and a double. Okay, so now we'll go for our main topic. So here the interface consisting of, sorry, the annotation consisting of more methods with the default values. And again, I'm going to take this as a string. Yeah, string also possible, like str. Yeah, and there should be a braces. By default it is like null. So this is how we are going to take everything, and directly we can take it, right? And no, capital letters. No, it is not possible. This is a keyword. Yeah, cannot resolve. Yeah, we'll take it as a null. It's okay. So this is a string value. That's why I mentioned this one. Okay, it doesn't matter for you. And each and everything you have to know about the basics of an annotation is like consisting of three ways, which we call it as an interface. The annotation is nothing but an interface consisting of 3 points you have to understand. One is the interfaces, I mean the annotation with no methods, the annotation with one method, the annotation with one method with the default values, and annotations with more methods with the default values. Okay, you need to remember all these things. The usage of it is not possible to explain in this way, because each and every time we need to check it out properly inside where we are going to use that. For that, I'm giving you a good example. In that case, we are going throughout the theory part right now. Okay, okay, then this is okay. Now we are going for the slide. Yeah, we are discussing about the retention policy. So how long your annotation is going to survive or retain in the program? How long? We are going to mention this annotations. So how long it can be retained in the program? How long the annotation is going to stay, or how long it is going on? It is basis on our usage. They said about 3 cases are available. Based on the 3 cases, the annotations are differentiated. So we need to mention the retention policy. We need to mention the retention policy according to the usage of an annotation, or else I think it's some conditions only we are going to use that. In networks, yeah, there is a network. So like SBI, right? No. Some policies are there. I'm going to tell you later. Okay. So here the source. What is this? In this sense, we are going to take the source file and discard it at the time of a compilation. Again, I'm telling you, in this case, we are going to discard it at the time of a compilation. Before the compilation, it's going to end. In this case, the annotation is going to end before a compilation. There is no need of using that. So next one is a class. What is this a class? With this specification, the annotation is going to the class file. Again, I'm telling you, what is the class file? The class is consisting of an objects and a methods. Objects, methods, and variables. So many statements are available inside a class. So we are going to use at the time the class file created. So this is a part of a compilation program. but it does not go further. So only at the compilation time it works, and it don't go any further. Okay, it is before the compilation, it is going to be get discarded, but this stays at the compilation time, and this is at the runtime. This is the main difference in between these three cases. This is before the compilation, we are going to discard the annotation, and this is for only at the time of a compilation, and this is for at the time of a runtime. So you need to remember this one. It is like, yeah, do I need to mention anything? Example? Yeah, okay. I'm going to take example for that. Everything is showing error because of all these things. Yes, let me do that. Yeah, we need to prepare a document for us at the end of the unit, right? So that I will go for one more example for your understanding purpose. So this is all about annotations. So here I'm going to take, yes, I'm going to copy this one also, which is easy for us. So now we discussed about the retention policy. It starts with annotation, starts with a @ symbol, and there is a retention. See this one. So this is the retention policy we are going to use right now. So what is the retention policy? It is telling us like how long the annotation is going to retain. How long the annotation is going to retain. So there are three cases. One is a source, class, and a runtime. A source in the sense we are going to use it before the compilation. So at the time of a compilation, we are going to discard it. So again, at the time of a class, we are going to use it till class, compilation. Again, 1 second, I got some message. Yeah. So at the time of a compilation, we are going to use that in the sense of a class. So going further is restricted for the class. And again, at the runtime, we'll use at the runtime only. That was the final stage. So there is no need to worry. Okay, just we are going to discuss about the retention. Yeah. So there is a keyword retention policy. See this one. There is a keyword retention policy. I'm going to type that retention policy. So now I'm going to take three things. See this one. It was already showing it. Three things are available in retention policy. Please remember this one. These are very important. If your fate is that much not good, they will ask this one, because these are all the things, somewhat clumsy things. We need to read it, theoretically, not in the practical manner, but you have to remember all these things. So the retention policy consisting of three cases. One is a class, runtime, and a source. So what is a source in the sense? Before compilation. This is at the time of a compilation, and it won't go further. And this is at the time of a runtime. I'm going to use this. So this is the retention policy. Now we are going to use at the runtime. Okay. And now I'm going to take it for the interface, like edge interface. I'm going to take the interface name as yeah, cool. No, every time cool hot. No, it's not like that. Okay, interface. Yes, yeah, it is good. So the error has been gone. See this one. So before the class, when we declared this, so when I remove this one, so it is showing error. Why it is showing error? Annotation retention policy. Annotation retention policy. Again, I am telling you, annotation retention policy. We are going to discuss about the annotation, not about the program, or not about all these programs and all. We are going to tell, we are going to instruct that how long the annotation is going to stay. So if I mention this over here, I'm giving the instruction for this annotation, like please use this annotation at the runtime. Okay. And if I mention like, yeah, this one, this is like a class. So use this only at the time of a compilation. And again, I'm telling this annotation. I think you got a good idea about this now. Use this before, what is that one? Class source. Source, yeah. Use this before compilation. So we are retaining the annotation, not the program. We are giving instructions to the annotations. Stay till before a compilation, stay at the time of a compilation, stay at the time of a runtime. So we are instructing the annotation. There is a retention policy. Please follow the rules. So there is a retention policy. Please follow this retention policy rules, or else it is not good. It is thinking like a warning. Okay, it's my words. Okay, it's not in the book. Okay. This is a retention policy that we are going to instruct the annotations, how long it is going to retain in a program. This is what about the retention policy. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the class method. This class method is useful at the time of user defined annotations. Please make sure that concentrate on the topic, which is a very important topic in both the conditions. At the time of an examination point of view also, it is a very important. At the time of programming point of view, when you are in a business, then you will get a good idea. I mean, there is a good usage of it. Not this one. Interfaces, I'm telling about the interface. Okay. One second, there is a disturbance over here. Yeah. So the class method, the class method. Don't you think like class method in the sense inside a class there is a method? Okay. Like arrays, we are having a class arrays, right? ARRAYs, that consisting of a sortings and sorted arrays. I mean, there are some sorting arrays. So many methods are available inside a class arrays. So in that case, this is also one of the class, which is a predefined available inside a Java, which we call it as a, actually disturbance, one second. Yeah, don't you think like this is a class that consisting of a method? This is a keyword available inside a Java. So by using this, we are going to use a user defined annotations. Again, I'm telling you, this is a keyword available inside a Java. And by using this class, we are going to use user defined annotations inside a program. Okay. This is for user defined annotations, and there are predefined annotations are available. After the predefined, we are going to discuss about the user defined. Actually, I thought this is a small topic, but according to your textbook, it is somewhat a big topic. There are almost 7 pages only for the annotations. I think there are 7 pages only for the annotations. I don't know why they mentioned this. I need to cover each and everything. That's why I'm just explaining it to you. I'm not going to give each and everything the example for this. Just we are already explained the override and the functional interface, and there is an encrypted, which is an important. This is a deprecated in the sense we are going to not use that. I mean, if there is any warnings and all, we are going to use this deprecated method, because inside the next unit we are going to go inside further in the deep. Like exception handling is also available inside a Java, which is a very important topic, and some conditions also available. Over there, we are going to use these annotations. Without an annotations, it is not possible to explain that. So in deep, I'm going to explain over there. Okay. In depth, we are going to discuss that over there, predefined annotations. Just I will give you like an introduction. I'm not going to give you a detailed example for that. Okay. Because this is somewhat a big. Okay. Here we already took good discussion about the at override and at functional interface. Now I already discussed about the at retention, which is all these are predefined, which is available inside a Java. Not null in the sense sometimes an array is consisting of not arrays, strings. Strings sometimes we won't initialize at the time of a program. What should I tell? Yeah, I will share my project so that you will get the idea about this. Yeah, it's a good news. The project has been completed. Maybe expecting tomorrow or today, I'm going to place it in the Play Store. Okay, it's already done. Okay, I'm going to tell you at null. Yeah. So this is a not null. If I'm going to remove it, just it throws a warning slide. Sorry. This nullable is not available in Java. This is available in Android. Don't you go for this. Okay. So see this one, it is showing error. Maybe it may be a null. So not annotated a parameter override. This is not an error. This is just a warning. Maybe at the time of a runtime, or at the time of a dynamic allocation of a view. So inside this thing like this is as a string. So at the time of a dynamic allocation, so maybe you will get a null value over there. Better use at not null before the view. Again, I'm telling you what is the usage of a not null, non-null. So here, maybe we can expect a null at the time of runtime. At the time of runtime, maybe we can expect so that, so if someone, a program, not a program, a user is supposed to do n number of inputs to that, like a comments or at the rate or a hyphen or a slash, whatever the input it is. Maybe inside a string, you are supposed to send what are all the things you want, either a dot operator or somewhat different operators are there, different symbols are there. So sometimes it may be a nullable. So say that when you're going to send any value, say like there is nothing available inside a text box like WhatsApp. If nothing is, you just not printed anything. When you click on the send button, will it goes there? No, right? The same thing. It should not be null. So that's why we mentioned a null. What this is what the usage of. Let me show you. Wait. This is the usage of a not null. So we are going to tell that, and inside your DBMS. So inside a DBMS, you are going to learn about the Oracle. That we are going to say that the primary key does not be a null. The primary key is not a null. So you are going to mention over there. The same thing we are going to use in the Java also. So there are two things, a primary key and a foreign key, right? So the primary key should be auto incremented. So it is going to increment every time, 1, 2, 3, if you are in a serial manner. So it is going to increment, auto incremented. But again, we are going to tell that attribute like it should be a not null and it not be a null. Okay, remember this one. So the functional interface, in the sense, we are going to tell the interface like, please you maintain only one abstract method inside your interface. Other than one abstract method, I will throw an error. It will say like that. And it is also consisting of, it doesn't matter about the default and the static methods available inside an interface. It only take care about the abstract methods, which is not implemented inside an interface. Overriding, in the sense, sometimes it is good. Sometimes it won't work properly. In the STS class, I explained that So in the sense of an overloading, it gives like if we mention an override method before inside an overloading concept, it won't give that much sense over there, but it won't give the error also. So why we are going to use over there? So sometimes annotations does not give a clear idea, but sometimes it gives a good idea in the sense of a functional interface. In the sense of a functional interface, it is doing its job well, but in the sense of an overriding concept will work properly, but in the sense of an overloading won't work properly. Okay, just remember this one. Encrypted in the sense we are going to give an encryption to the methods and all. Like, wait a second, I'm going to show you that. Why this is not available inside a Java? In our syllabus, they mention encrypted, but here inside a Java, it is not available. Why like that? Okay, I will tap it on. Okay, now I came to know this. So that's why I told you at the time of a file managers, at the time of a files, we are going to discuss this. Yes, I'm telling you how you are going to use it. So it is in the sense of a file. It is not in the sense of a class. You just remember this. So use this. So I think, yeah. So this is we are going to use at the time of a file allocation. Okay, remember this one. I'm going to tell you like there is a somewhat things file readers. Yeah. So at this stage, we are going to take this one. We are going to use this one. So when we are going to assign a path, for that we are going to use an at encrypted manner. So this is a concept available in, a fourth unit, I think. So there we are going to use that. There is no need to worry about all these things. Okay, I think the time has been done. So what we covered, we are going to discuss tomorrow again about this. I'm going to give you an example for this. So I will try to make it in a single program, everything, because everything is important, not at the examination point of view, the outside also. So we discussed this and the retention policy and override and not null. So we are going to discuss about encryption, documented, deprecated, and the target. So all these four things we are going to discuss with an example tomorrow. Better go through the textbook, please, because it's somewhat different compared with other things like RS and all. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day. You may leave the class.